Hey guys, my name is Phil. Welcome to Phil's Computer Lab. Previously we had a look at the GeForce 256, a graphics card from Nvidia, and they coined it as the first GPU by their definition, and it was also the first GeForce card. People collect the GeForce 256. I look around a lot of forums and I usually never see this card being used in builds, so people buy it, collect it, and then it gets stashed away, never to be seen again. So today we're looking at a card that is a really good substitute for the GeForce 256, and that is the GeForce 2 MX400. We will go over the specifications of the card, there are benchmarks, power draw results, and we will discuss prices and availability. To break it up a little bit, we've got Battlefield 1942 running in the background, and that is on the GeForce 2 MX400. Now before you go out and buy a GeForce 2 MX, there are three versions of this card. There's the original GeForce 2 MX, and then the MX200 and the MX400. The original GeForce 2 MX and the MX400, those are the ones to go for. However, do avoid the MX200. This is a much slower card. The GeForce 2 MX cards are really easy to find. There are a ton of them on eBay. They are really cheap. The availability is excellent, so you shouldn't have too many issues finding one. On eBay, just type in GeForce 2 MX or terms like MX400 or MX200 and you should find a card very easily. Let's go over the specifications of the cards. The GeForce 2 MX400 runs at 200 MHz and faster than the 120 MHz of the GeForce 256. The RAM runs at the same 166 MHz. In terms of pipelines, we've got 4 pixel pipelines on the GeForce and 2 on the MX400. However, that is offset through efficiency and also higher clock speed. We've got 4 texture mapping units on both, and we've got 4 render output units on the GeForce and 2 on the GeForce 2 MX400. The GeForce 2 MX is basically half a GeForce 2 pretty much when you look at the chip. The manufacturing process is newer, only 180 nanometers on the MX400 compared to 220 nanometers on the GeForce, so we should see a difference in power draw. And both cards support the Direct3D 7.0 and OpenGL API. The test system is the usual Windows 98 test bench Optane 4 running at 2.8 GHz with 512 MB of RAM. We've got an Oriole Vortex 2 PCI sound card, a 16 GB SanDisk Ultra SD card, driven by a 500 watt FSP power supply, and we also got Windows 98 SE. Let's dive straight into some benchmarks. In 3D Mark 99 Max we can see how similar the GeForce 2 MX400 performs in comparison with the GeForce. In 3D Mark 2000 the MX400 is actually faster. In Dragon it's a little bit slower, 55 FPS compared to 59. Now Expandable is a game where the GeForce 2 MX400 is significantly faster compared to the GeForce. In GL Quake we can see very close performance, 110 compared to 112 FPS, and in Quake 2 we can see the same picture, 109 FPS compared to 103, and the same goes for Quake 3, both around the 67-66 FPS mark. And in MDK2 the MX400 is a little bit faster compared to the GeForce. So in terms of performance we saw that the MX400 is very similar to the GeForce, but there are some exceptions where the card is actually significantly faster. Sitting at idle on the desktop we can see that the MX400 is more power efficient. It draws 11 watts less than the GeForce. Under load we've got Quake 2 running at 1600 by 1200. We can also see the card being more power efficient, and the same goes with VSync enabled. This is expandable. We're seeing 103 FPS compared to 116. It also draws less power, and that's in idle as well as under game load. So if you've got a weaker power supply or you just want to save some energy and some money, definitely this is the better card for you to go for. So this is a great alternative if the GeForce 256 is too hard to find or too expensive. So I wanted to make sure that I don't just review really rare and sought after cards, but I also give you some options that are affordable and cheap, and the GeForce 2 MX is one of the cheapest and easiest cards to find on eBay. The GeForce 256, although it's sought after and a bit rare, has nothing special going on in terms of features. There's no proprietary API like Metal or the Glide engine, and it's certainly not a one-of-its-kind card, for example like our Cairo, that I can understand people pay a little bit more to have that card. So really, the GeForce 256 is a collector's card. People buy it, stash it away, maybe put it on a shelf, but we usually never see them again. So that's why this card is so hard to find. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. So the idea was to show you that you can get cards that are cheap, easy to find, and perform just as well. Let me know down below in the description what do you think, and I will see you soon with another video.